Peace, family. Hope all is well. Today we're going to continue with billing errors, all right, and get into our failure to credit accounts. Picture this scenario. Mr. Brown made a payment of $500 to XYZ Utility Company, but the company failed to credit the account and as a result was charged a late fee and received a notice of possible service disconnection. When Mr. Brown calls the service company, he's connected with the service agent Ryan, who informs him that its payment was not received and that there's nothing that can be done. After exhausting the internal dispute process with XYZ Utility Company, Mr. Brown takes further action, calls customer service again to dispute the uncredited payment, as well as sending formal dispute letters after the company refused to correct the error. He has to escalate the matter to regulatory agencies and consider legal action, ultimately taking XYZ Utility Company to court. Now, once again, family, let me break this down to you step by step. Story time. Let's get into it. Thank you for calling XYZ Utility Company. My name is Ryan. How may I assist you today? Hi, Ryan. I made a payment of $500 last week and I just received a late notice stating that my payment was not credited. I need this issue resolved immediately. I understand your concern, Mr. Brown. Let me check your account. Okay, I see that your balance is still showing past due and I do not see a payment posted on the date you mentioned. Are you sure payment went through? Yes, I have the transaction confirmation from my bank and I can provide you a copy of my bank statement showing that the funds were deducted. I met all the requirements and the payment was made on time. Unfortunately, since we do not have record of the payment on our end, we cannot apply a credit or remove the late fee. You may need to check with your bank and dispute it through them. Ryan, I already confirmed with my bank that the payment was successful, okay? And I sent it to XYZ Utility Company. The issue is on your end, and I need this corrected immediately. I understand, Mr. Brown, but without the payment showing in our system, there's nothing I can do. If you'd like, I can submit a written dispute to our billing department. Ryan, you're telling me that I have to go through additional hurdles to correct your company's mistake. If this issue is not resolved immediately, I will escalate this matter to consumer protection agencies, regulatory authorities, and if necessary, legal action. I need an official response from your company regarding this dispute. I'm sorry, Mr. Brown. That's our policy. You'll need to submit a dispute in writing. All right, Ryan. I'll be submitting a formal dispute letter and escalating this issue further. Thank you. After XYZ Utility Company fails to properly investigate and resolve the issue, Mr. Brown escalates the dispute by taking the following actions. He files complaints with regulatory agencies. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau ensures fair business practices, as well as the Federal Trade Commission investigates unfair billing practices. Public Utilities Commission regulates utility providers at the state level. Finally, the State Attorney General's Office enforces consumer protection laws. Once Mr. Brown has completed filing with the regulatory agencies, he will be submitting a demand letter, which is a final notice to the utility company warning that legal action will be taken if the matter is not resolved within 7 days. And family, if you're having issues creating letters, simply join my Patreon by clicking the link here in my bio, becoming a free member, and you'll have access to the template directly below this video on Patreon. Let's get back into the story. After receiving no response from the utility company, the letter serves as official evidence that Mr. Brown attempted to resolve the issue before going to court. After receiving no response or an unfavorable decision, Mr. Brown files a lawsuit in small claims court. Court is now in session. For the case of Mr. Brown versus XYZ Utility Company, Mr. Brown, please present your case. Thank you, Your Honor. XYZ Utility Company failed to properly credit a $500 payment I made on February 1st, despite my providing proof of payment. As a result, I was charged late fees, received a disconnection notice, and was ignored when I tried to resolve the issue through customer service and my formal dispute letters. I'm here today seeking full credit of payment, removal of all penalties, and damages for undue stress and financial hardship. Mr. Brown, what evidence do you have to support the claim? Your Honor, I have provided the following documents. my bank statement showing the successful transfer of the $500 amount to XYZ Utility Company, a payment confirmation receipt from my bank, including the transaction ID, copies of written dispute letters and emails sent to XYZ Utility Company, a transcript of my cell phone call with Agent Ryan, who acknowledged my payment was missing but refused to take corrective action, as well as regulatory complaints I filed with the CFPB, FTC, and my state's Public Utilities Commission. Your Honor, XYZ Utility Company processes thousands of transactions daily. Errors may occur. Our records show that Mr. Brown's payment was never received due to possible processing delays from his bank. While we understand his frustration, we cannot confirm that XYZ Utility Company was at fault. Mr. Brown, how do you respond to their claim that the issue could be with your bank? Your Honor, I have already contacted my bank and they confirmed that the payment was successfully processed on time and received by XYZ Utility Company. Additionally, the company failed to properly investigate my dispute and did not provide any reasonable explanation for the missing payment. Their negligence caused me financial harm and unnecessary stress. Counsel for XYZ Utility Company, did your company take any steps in investigating Mr. Brown's claim after he provided evidence? Your Honor, our standard policy requires customers to dispute billing errors within a certain period. Mr. Brown did not escalate this issue through proper internal channels. Your Honor, I followed every required step, contacted customer service multiple times, and submitted written disputes. XYZ Utility Company failed to act on my request and placed the burden on me to fix their mistake. Their refusal to address the issue forced me to take legal action. Mr. Brown, how has this situation affected you? Your Honor, this mistake caused significant hardship. I spent hours trying to resolve the issue, experienced undue stress from the possibility of my utility service being disconnected, and suffered financially due to their unfair late fees. As a customer who paid on time, I should not have been subjugated to this treatment. Your Honor, this case is about accountability. XYZ Utility Company's failure to credit my payment, investigate my dispute, and properly address the issue resulted in financial harm and emotional distress. I'm requesting a full refund of my missing payment, the removal of all penalties and damages for their negligence. Your Honor, while we regret Mr. Brown's frustration, we believe this was an unfortunate miscommunication that XYZ Utility Company did not act on maliciously. We request that the court consider our company's position in handling large volumes of transaction and human error. XYZ Utility Company had ample opportunity to correct this error but failed to take reasonable steps. Mr. Brown provided clear proof of payment and your company failed to credit his account despite his compliance with all dispute processes. This case demonstrates gross negligence on the part of XYZ Utility Company. After reviewing the evidence and testimony, I rule in favor of the plaintiff, Mr. Brown. XYZ Utility Company is ordered to first credit Mr. Brown's account with the missing payment. 2, remove all fees and penalties associated with the billing error. 3, pay $1,000 in damages for financial harm and emotional stress. 4, revise the internal dispute resolution processes to prevent similar occurrences. This court expects that utility companies maintain accurate billing records and provide full resolution processes for customers. Case dismissed. Thank you, Your Honor. Made it this far. I appreciate you guys. All in all, I hope this helps. And I love you guys. Peace. Disclaimer in the bio.